Hello, Golden State Warriors fan. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates. First of all, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's crucial for you to stay informed with the news daily. Without further ado, let's get to the news. When you look at the Golden State Warriors right now, it almost feels like the franchise is standing at a crossroads. On one side, you've got the history, the dynasty, the unforgettable moments that Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson built together. On the other, you've got reality staring you in the face, because time doesn't wait for anyone, not even for legends. And right now, the Warriors are facing some massive decisions that could completely reshape what the next few years of this team will look like. Let's be real, the trade deadline earlier this year already shocked a lot of people. Golden State pulled the trigger and brought in Jimmy Butler, a six-time All-Star, a guy who has proven time and time again that he's made for big moments. Suddenly, the Warriors weren't just running it back with the same old group. They had created a new big three, pairing Butler with Curry and Green. On paper, that looked like a smart gamble, but it also screamed urgency. Because when you bring in a player like Jimmy at this stage of his career, you're not building for 5 years down the line, you're going all in right now. And that's where the pressure comes in. The problem is the rest of the offseason has been anything but impressive. While other teams around the league were making moves, adding depth, experimenting with their rosters, Golden State stayed quiet. No signings, no trades, nothing. And that silence is loud, especially for a team that knows its championship window isn't exactly wide open anymore. Then you throw Jonathan Kaminga into the mix, and things get even more complicated. Here's a young, athletic forward who has shown flashes of real potential, someone the Warriors have invested in and who has grown in their system. But right now, both sides are stuck in a standoff. Kaminga is a restricted free agent, which usually gives the team some leverage, but in this case, he's playing his card in a way that puts the Warriors under pressure. He's threatening to take the qualifying offer, and if he does that, Golden State loses all flexibility. He'd become untradeable for the year and would walk into unrestricted free agency next summer, leaving the Warriors empty-handed if he decides to go. That's a nightmare scenario for the front office, because they know they can't afford to just let a young talent like that slip away for nothing. They've reportedly put a 2-year deal worth $45 million on the table, but Kaminga isn't interested. He wants more security, more money, and honestly, he knows he's got leverage. The Warriors need him to sign something, anything, to keep options open. And that's where the rumors get wild. Because if Kaminga does end up signing that short-term deal, it opens the door for Golden State to package him in a trade. And the name floating around? None other than LeBron James. Yes, the same LeBron James who has been Steph Curry's rival for over a decade, who has faced the Warriors in 4 straight finals, who has been at the center of some of the most iconic battles in modern basketball history. The idea of LeBron in a Warriors jersey almost feels like fan fiction, but the whispers are real. There have been reports that Golden State has already reached out to the Lakers multiple times over the past year and a half, just checking to see if there's any chance, any pathway to make it happen. Now imagine that for a second. Steph Curry and LeBron James, 2 of the greatest players of their generation, side by side instead of across from each other. It would be the ultimate plot twist in NBA history. And for the Warriors, it would be the boldest move they could possibly make to maximize what's left of this era. Because let's face it, Curry is not getting younger, Draymond is not getting younger, and Jimmy Butler isn't a long-term piece either. The time to win is now, not tomorrow. But none of that matters unless the Warriors can sort out this Kaminga situation. He's the key that unlocks every possibility, whether it's a trade for a superstar like LeBron or just the chance to stabilize the roster with veteran signings. Right now, though, Golden State is in a holding pattern. They've got only 9 players under guaranteed contracts, which is shocking this late in the offseason. Most teams have filled out their rosters, maybe left 1 spot open for training camp battles. The Warriors, on the other hand, are still sitting with holes, waiting for something to break. And that's why names like Al Horford keep popping up. He's a veteran big man, a former champion, a guy who can stretch the floor and bring size and leadership to the team. On paper, he looks like a perfect fit for what the Warriors need. But again, Nothing can happen until they know what's going on with Kaminga. If he re-signs, they know how much money and flexibility they have to work with. If he doesn't, the front office has to go back to the drawing board. The frustrating part for fans is that there's no rush on either side. Kaminga doesn't have to make a quick decision, and the Warriors are stuck waiting him out. It's this strange game of chicken, where everyone knows something has to give eventually, but nobody wants to be the first to blink. And while all of this is playing out behind the scenes, the rest of the league is moving on, preparing for training camp, building chemistry, getting ready for the grind of the season. Meanwhile, Steph Curry is once again the voice of belief. He keeps saying he still thinks this team can win a championship, that Jimmy Butler's presence will make a real difference, that the group has what it takes. And of course, he has to say that. He's the leader, the face of the franchise, the guy who has carried Golden State through thick and thin. But not everyone is buying it. There are plenty of voices out there saying the days of the Warriors competing for titles are over, that the last ring in 2022 was the final chapter. And part of that argument comes down to loyalty. Steph Curry has always been about staying true to one team, one city, one jersey. He's not chasing rings by jumping around the league. He's not looking for the easiest path to a championship. And while that's something fans admire and respect, it also raises the question, is that loyalty costing him another shot at glory? Compare that to someone like Kevin Durant, who has never been afraid to switch teams if it means putting himself in a better position to win. Durant's latest move to Houston is a perfect example. He joined a young Rockets team that already pushed Golden State to 7 games last season. Add his scoring and experience, and suddenly Houston looks like a real contender. If those two teams meet again in the playoffs, it's going to be fireworks. On one side, you've got Curry, try to squeeze every last drop of greatness out of an aging roster. On the other, you've got Durant energized by a young core that's still improving. And the truth is, the Warriors need more than belief to survive that kind of matchup. They need depth. They need size. They need stability. And they need to figure out this Kaminga situation before it drags them down. What makes the Warriors situation so fascinating right now is that it feels like every decision they make carries extra weight. This isn't like those years when the team was stacked with depth, loaded with draft capital, and had time to wait for younger guys to develop. Those days are gone. Now it's a delicate balance between honoring the dynasty that changed the league and trying to squeeze out 1 or 2 more championship runs before the curtain closes. That's why even whispers of LeBron James potentially joining Steph Curry send shockwaves across the NBA world. Because as wild as it sounds, it's not impossible, and it's the kind of gamble Golden State might need to consider if they truly want to go out swinging. Think about how surreal that pairing would be. Curry and LeBron spent their careers on opposite sides of some of the most dramatic battles we've ever seen on a basketball court. 4 straight finals matchups, the unforgettable 3, 1 comeback, the iconic chase-down block, and Curry's revenge in later years with Kevin Durant by his side. Those memories are etched into NBA history, and the idea of seeing those two forces combine instead of clash almost feels like rewriting the script of the past decade. The narrative would flip from rivalry to alliance, from enemies to teammates with one shared goal, adding one more banner before the clock runs out. But again, for any of that to happen, Golden State has to navigate the Kaminga stalemate. And that's where the tension lies, because the franchise doesn't want to lose him outright, but they also know they can't let him dictate the entire pace of their offseason. The longer this drags on, the less prepared they'll be when training camp begins. You can almost sense the frustration bubbling beneath the surface, even if the team won't admit it publicly. They need clarity, and they need it soon, because every day without a resolution is another day wasted. Now, if we step back and look at the roster as it stands, the concerns are obvious. 9 guaranteed contracts this late in the offseason is not normal for a contender. Teams like Denver, Boston, and Milwaukee are already fine-tuning their rotations, figuring out chemistry, and experimenting with lineups. The Warriors are stuck waiting for one domino to fall. And while the waiting game drags on, other valuable free agents are being scooped up, leaving the pool thinner and thinner. That's where Al Horford's name continues to come up. A steady veteran, a floor stretcher, someone who understands how to play championship basketball. The Warriors could desperately use his size and presence in the paint, especially since Draymond Green cannot be the only reliable defensive anchor for 82 games plus a postseason. Horford might not be the player he once was, but he's the kind of piece that brings stability. The issue is financial. Depending on how Kaminga's contract plays out, the Warriors either have the flexibility to sign him with a taxpayer mid-level exception, or they're handcuffed and forced to explore cheaper alternatives. It's a strange reality because for years Golden State was considered one of the smartest front offices in basketball, a group that always stayed one step ahead of the league. They drafted Curry, they drafted Clay, they drafted Draymond, and then they landed Durant at the exact right moment to form a juggernaut. But now, it feels like they're reacting instead of dictating, and that's a dangerous place to be when your stars are aging. Meanwhile, Steph Curry is once again carrying the weight of belief on his shoulders. He insists this group can win. He points to Butler's arrival as proof that the organization is still committed to competing, and he holds on to faith that the chemistry will click. And let's be honest, if there's any player in the league who has earned the right to be believed in, it's Curry. We've seen him defy expectations too many times. We've seen him drag teams further than anyone thought possible. We've seen him completely redefine what offense looks like in the modern NBA. But at the same time, belief alone doesn't grab rebounds, it doesn't protect the rim, and it doesn't provide fresh legs in a grueling 7-game series. That's where the gap between faith and reality becomes so dangerous for the Warriors. Adding to the tension is the fact that the Western Conference is not getting any easier. The Rockets with Durant are already looming as a major threat. Last season, they pushed Golden State to the brink even before Durant arrived. Now, with his scoring and experience injected into that lineup, Houston looks like a team ready to explode. The young core is hungry, and Durant finally has the chance to ride their energy instead of carrying the load alone. If the Warriors face them again, it's not going to be a repeat of last year. It's going to be a battle for survival. And it's not just Houston. Denver is still a powerhouse with Nikola Jokic in his prime. Oklahoma City continues to improve with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander blossoming into a superstar. Even teams like Minnesota and Sacramento are no longer easy outs. The Western Conference is a minefield, and every weakness you show will be exploited. For the Warriors, that means they can't afford to enter the season with question marks hanging over half the roster. They need answers, they need bodies, and they need to make those moves before it's too late. One of the most intriguing subplots in all of this is how Curry's loyalty shapes the entire situation. He's made it clear he wants to retire a Warrior, and that unwavering commitment is part of what makes him so beloved. But loyalty has its cost. By refusing to chase titles elsewhere, Curry has tied his fate to whatever Golden State can build around him. Contrast that with Durant, who has no problem hopping from team to team in search of the perfect situation. Durant left Golden State years ago and has been chasing the mountaintop ever since. Now, in Houston, he might finally have found the environment where everything aligns. For Curry, though, there is no backup plan. There's only Golden State, for better or worse. And that's the beauty and the chaos of this moment for the Warriors. Every path forward carries risk. Every option comes with uncertainty, and every decision has the potential to change the legacy of this team. They are balancing on the edge of history, trying to extend a dynasty while knowing that the window is closing fast. Whether it ends with another parade or with disappointment will depend on what happens in the next few weeks. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Whispers around the basketball world are intensifying as the Golden State Warriors reportedly secure the signature of KASPARAS JAKUCIONIS, a player already being dubbed the new DONCIC by fans and analysts alike. Sources close to the team hint at a multi-year contract that could redefine the Warriors' strategic approach for upcoming seasons, adding a fresh dynamism to an already potent roster. Though the official announcement has yet to hit mainstream channels, insiders describe the deal as a calculated move to blend youthful vigor with the team's established championship pedigree. The buzz is particularly electric because JAKUCIONIS, hailing from Lithuania, has been turning heads across European leagues with performances that showcase a rare combination of scoring prowess, court vision, and leadership potential at a remarkably young age. Analysts speculate that his style, often compared to Luka Doncic, could make him a cornerstone for the Warriors' next chapter, potentially altering matchups and forcing defensive recalibrations across the league. Enthusiastic fans have flooded social media with anticipatory commentary, dissecting highlight reels, debating his fit alongside Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, and envisioning scenarios where JAKUCIONIS could elevate the team to new heights. The rumor has sparked a surge in speculative betting odds and merchandise chatter, further fueling the narrative that Golden State may be orchestrating a quiet but significant transformation. Even though contract details are closely guarded, insiders hint that the signing involves performance incentives and clauses tailored to maximize both JAKUCIONI's development and the team's championship ambitions. Pundits are already drawing comparisons to historical acquisitions, noting how previous strategic gambles by the Warriors reshaped their trajectory. The aura surrounding JAKUCIONIS is growing, and while some remain skeptical, the persistent murmurs suggest a potentially seismic shift in the league's balance of power. If the whispers hold true, this move might mark the beginning of a fascinating new era in Golden State's storied history. The speculation over JAKUCIONI's imminent arrival in the NBA has ignited a frenzy among basketball commentators and enthusiasts alike, with conversations revolving around his compatibility with the Warriors' offensive and defensive systems. Observers note that his European experience, particularly his adaptability in fast-paced, high-pressure games, might give Golden State a tactical edge as the league evolves towards increasingly versatile lineups. Rumor mills are buzzing with suggestions that JAKUCIONIS could assume a primary playmaking role when Curry rests, or even reshape second-unit dynamics by injecting scoring versatility and unpredictable shot creation. Comparisons to Luka Doncic, though bold, are grounded in statistical echoes observed in JAKUCIONI's recent performances. High assist-to-turnover ratios, remarkable court awareness, and the ability to carry a team under pressure. Coaches and front office strategists are reportedly excited about the prospect of pairing his court intelligence with the Warriors' hallmark spacing and ball movement, envisioning a fluid offense that could overwhelm opponents defensively. Fans have been dissecting every available video clip, noting his off-ball movement, step-back jumpers, and uncanny timing on rebounds, feeding a social media frenzy that oscillates between incredulity and hopeful anticipation. Speculation has also extended to potential marketing and brand impact, with whispers suggesting that JAKUCIONI's European roots could open new international revenue streams and global fan engagement opportunities. While skeptics caution against hasty comparisons to established NBA superstars, the consensus within insider circles is that Golden State's move signals a long-term strategic vision. Rumors of late-night negotiations and rapid-fire adjustments to salary cap logistics hint at the urgency and high stakes surrounding the deal. Analysts predict that if the rumors solidify into reality, JAKUCIONIS might quickly emerge as a pivotal figure in the Warriors' championship ambitions, energizing both the team and its global fan base. In effect, the mere possibility of this signing has already begun to shape league narratives, forcing rivals to re-evaluate defensive strategies and scouting priorities. Amid the swirl of conjecture, basketball insiders are abuzz with discussions about how KASPARAS JAKUCIONI's potential integration into the Warriors could affect the broader NBA landscape. Sources indicate that his signing, if confirmed, may trigger a domino effect across the league, as teams scramble to identify young playmakers capable of rivaling the emerging synergy within Golden State. Observers speculate that JAKUCIONI's versatility, blending perimeter shooting with playmaking and rebound instincts, aligns with contemporary trends in the NBA emphasizing positionless basketball and multidimensional skill sets. The rumor mill suggests that coaches are particularly fascinated by his ability to read defenses and anticipate plays, a trait that could amplify the Warriors' already formidable transition game and ball-sharing philosophy. Social media chatter paints an electrifying picture, fans discussing potential lineups, imagining scenarios where JAKUCIONIS orchestrates fast breaks or spearheads clutch scoring runs against the league's toughest contenders. Pundits are weighing in on whether the Lithuanian phenom's presence could relieve pressure on Curry and Thompson while simultaneously mentoring younger talent. Some insiders hint at subtle strategic recalibrations being discussed in front offices league-wide, anticipating the challenge of countering a Golden State team with this rumored addition. Betting markets, already sensitive to team performance shifts, are reportedly adjusting odds in real time based on whispers surrounding this potential acquisition. Enthusiasts are analyzing tape and debating stylistic impacts, often highlighting JAKUCIONI's ability to thrive in high-stakes environments and maintain efficiency under defensive pressure. The undercurrent of speculation suggests that even the whisper of his arrival is reshaping narratives about championship contenders and tactical planning. Should these rumors crystallize into an official announcement, the ramifications might extend far beyond the Bay Area, influencing draft strategies, free agent maneuvers, and trade discussions across the league. While uncertainty remains, the persistent chatter reinforces JAKUCIONI's growing aura as a transformative. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.